My name is Sam Watson-Jones, and my Nuffield scholarship is on per-plant farming and the future of artificial intelligence in arable farming. Per-plant farming is really a shorthand for explaining a future of arable farming where we're going to be able to go into a field of wheat, like the field behind me, and we're going to be able to manage it at the per-plant level. So we're going to be able to gather data on every single plant in that field, and then we're going to be able to take action at that same level of detail. So I'm going to do something to this plant, and I'm going to do something different to the plant next to it. It's a future in which every single decision that we take through the growing season and every single action that we take through the growing season is supported by artificial intelligence. And this is an important development for agriculture because it will enable us to use a fraction of the chemicals and fertiliser that we use at the moment. But because we're managing things in much more detail, we're also going to be able to significantly increase the productivity of these plants. And both of those are things that arable farming at scale is really struggling with. I used my Nuffield scholarship to go and explore where this is being developed, what the current state of understanding is in different parts of the world, and what the right method of funding these technologies has to be. First of all, I visited Brazil, where I saw arable farming at an enormous scale, and where frankly AI to the level of detail that we're talking about here is really not yet on the agenda because they are still seeing such enormous gains from simple mechanization and professionalization of farming. In North America, AI is very squarely on the agenda, but they have a challenge in that the way they see these agtech ventures being funded is through the Silicon Valley VC funding model. And I saw a number of examples myself, and also in the time that I've been a Nuffield Scholar, there have been a number of examples of venture funding quite simply not working and companies going out of business. And then in China, I saw huge potential for AI, lots of talk about AI, but in reality, a lot of manual labor still in evidence in the fields. But I also saw what I believe is by far the best funding model, government funding, starting with small amounts of funding for literally thousands of companies, then intense competition whittling that down to a smaller number of companies, but then really significant checks being written into some of the companies that I visited with a long-term view. So they're not interested in what the returns are going to be in the next year or the next couple of years, but they are interested in creating dominant companies in this space by funding the right technologies and the right teams. And I came away from that experience with absolutely no doubt that that is what they will do. Coming back to the UK, I realised that although we have incredible engineering talent, we have farmers with a fantastic future-oriented mindset, and we have potentially all the raw ingredients to develop these technologies. We have no real ecosystem to speak of when it comes to commercializing these technologies. Government funding has been well-meaning but entirely ineffective, and significant private funding just doesn't exist for agtech in this country. A potential solution for this is what you might call regional agtech venture studios, which are funded with a long-term perspective, which take a bigger equity stake in startups at an earlier stage in their development, and then support them with almost all of their funding throughout their life cycle up to the point when they are profitable and commercial. And I think we have a lot of potential to set these up in the UK, and then understand how they can serve not only the UK but potentially more broadly as well. And this is what I'm going to explore at the conclusion of my project.